What is this major minor thing in music and how did we get here? Here's a long-winded journey through the centuries peppered with golden nuggets of discovery and innovation. First of all, linguistically, major implies something that is principal, a main thing, whereas minor, a secondary. So before the introduction of the major and minor concepts, which in many ways made music more accessible to the general public, one main reason I would say why we have popular music nowadays. So before the introduction of those two, standard music was generally divided into these 7 subcategories. And these names are actually inspired from real regions in what used to be Asia Minor. So you could easily say that these were the Asia Minor modes. Intuitively, these so-called Asia Minor modes have different levels of difficulty. In other words, specific combinations of tones are easier to memorize and replicate than others. And over time, through the general study of music and through the general making of music, this one in particular stood out for a very specific reason, to do with physics and just the general laws of nature. More recently, technological advancements made it possible for us to analyze sound from a more technical point of view. Here we're looking at a spectrogram, and we saw that any acoustically produced sound is not just one frequency, but a series of frequencies. And each and every one of them is consistently the same ratio to the fundamental one. And all those frequencies sound good together because of this idea of equal incrementals. So whatever the fundamental value might be, each and one of those frequencies are equal to the initial value plus itself, and then the new value is being added the initial value. And a good way of representing this visually is with this, what we call a logarithmic spiral or a growth spiral. And you can think of this as nature's way of building efficiently. And acoustic sound is definitely a natural thing. Just as natural as our ability to detect consonants and dissonance. And here we see a diagram of our inner ear. And this particular structure here, which is called a cochlea, is what helps us distinguish between consonant sounds and dissonant sounds.